Just another day of drinking hot chocolate and stacking the micros.
I got up early today. I'm going to check out the CPI report when it comes out in about 20 minutes. News came out here. I took a short imbalance signal to the downside on the polarity. We had point of control up into the wick, delta declining. I did not hold on for the full 10 points. Got about 6. We were approaching the 50 level. Thought there might be a little bit of resistance at the 50 level. Market just opened. I got into a long at the VWAP, looking for a VWAP bounce. Also had an imbalance signal to the upside come in. I went in with 2 micros. Probably should have gone in with more. That was just absolutely beautiful. It was so nice. Had to do the same thing twice. Grab another long here. We had point of control down into the wick. Saw us rejecting off this VWAP area. Went for another long. Just based off the news reaction to the upside, we got this pullback. I'm expecting VWAP to give it a little bit of trouble here. So that was the second attempt. If we make a third attempt, I'm not going to go for a third bounce attempt. Right after the news came out, I had to drive and go get some hot chocolate making supplies. But I got back just in time, catch some trades for the New York Open here. We were trying to push up on this candle. We had a bunch of negative delta on the ES coming in on this next candle. We're getting a little hold up here. See, we got a big imbalance down here in this wick, in this 5-minute candle. Had a nice push up. Some trap traders down there. Got this big imbalance up here at 93, up in the tippy top of this candle. So if that holds, be some trap traders. Gonna move down. This area breaks. Gonna look for it to test this next key level up here. So there's the break at 93. We instantly popped up 10 points there, 15 points. Got decent delta coming in on the NQ and the ES. The histogram on the right, this is the MMT fluxometer. See, we had a ton of imbalances just coming in there. This area holds. Gonna look for it to continue. We had a lot of strong delta back here on the NQ 504. That's a lot for the NQ 1 minute. You get that nice pop up afterwards, after the close of this candle. Popped up over 20 points there. So this big imbalance at 20 held. We just popped up about 20 points there. We're getting some divergence coming in, some negative delta. We're dropping off a little bit here. Got a big imbalance here. If we break below that, might head back to the 15-minute center. Just trying to give you some live examples of how this is working out in real time in the live markets. All right, we just broke that imbalance. So we broke that big sell imbalance at around 17. We just dropped down over 20, 30 points there. It's tanking. This big imbalance is still up here. Point of control up into the wick. Trapped all these buyers up here, moving down. Gonna go back to focusing on my trading for a minute. I still have not mastered the art of describing everything that's going on and trading at the same time. So yeah, as soon as I stopped blabbering, found a trade right away. We had a bunch of positive delta coming in on the ES on this one candle. Down here it was already around 1400. Point of control down in both of these wicks. I went for a little long, up over 100 on all the accounts now, stacking the micros. So I'm just looking at the structure of this last 5-minute candle. We got wicks on both sides of this candle, pretty indecisive. We do have point of control up into the wick, and these bigger imbalances potentially trapped up here. We are getting kind of a move lower on this next candle, but we've also had wicks on the bottom of these last 2 candles, wicking right off of the 20 SMA on the 5-minute there. So price has just been kind of chopping around past few minutes here, waiting to see if I see anything extra juicy. We did have a lot of delta on the NQ on this candle. Popped up about 15 points after the close there. Me personally, I'm usually just going for 5 to 10 point scalps. Now we got a ton negative delta coming in on the ES. Pretty large amount on the NQ as well. Got a whole lot of key levels in the way here. We'll see if we come down and try to break them. This would be like the 3rd attempt at VWAP this morning. So after the close of this 1-minute candle with all the delta, we did pop down 10 points there. For me, it doesn't matter how much delta's coming in. If we've got a bunch of key levels in the way, definitely not trying to sell into this, especially after that huge move up after the news. Taking a lot of different things into consideration when I'm taking my trades. Sometimes there might be one particular factor that actually makes me push the button, but overall I'm definitely trying to get as many things in alignment as possible without being too over analytical. It's a fine line. I'm looking at these imbalances on the 5-minute. If this area holds, some potential trap traders keep moving lower. This area around hole number breaks, looking for a pop up there. So far we have not gotten any delta to overpower the strong delta on this candle. So even on this little pullback, we're still heading south. Still bearish on the cumulative delta background here. This cluster of key levels is just really strong. We got current day open, yesterday's close, yesterday's open, VWAP. Could not break it on the 3rd attempt this morning. Getting the rejection back to the upside. Had a bunch of buy imbalances down in this area here. Still watching this area up here at hole number. See if we break this. Get some power from all these buy imbalances here. Or if this area holds, back to the downside. Got a pretty big sell imbalance up here, the top of this candle. Been dropping off here. So on this candle, we had this big buy imbalance up here right here at the bottom. And immediately, this thing shot up 15 points. Now it's switched up to the top here. Could have trapped these buyers up here, up in this wick, heading lower. Sell imbalance is building up, so it's either going to head further south or trap these sellers, bounce back up. I'm waiting for it to try to break out of this range. We've been stuck between VWAP and the 20 SMA, just back and forth for quite a bit now. So we have some 10 o'clock news coming out in about 30 seconds. The imbalances up here in the 5-minute, the biggest one got moved down to 980. So this area holds. We got some trap buyers up here, might continue lower. This area breaks, definitely looking for a pop back up to whole number. See, as we're coming down, we were kind of positive on the percentages. It went neutral right at the end. Still positive right at the beginning here. Getting an imbalance signal to the upside here. And there we go. Nice pop up off of VWAP. Percentage is climbing. I was definitely noticing the percentage right as this candle was closing. It was staying positive up to the last 2 seconds there. Then this candle turned positive right away. So still looking at this 80 level here. On my 1-minute chart, I'm noticing that that is right at 15-minute center, so I'm not going to be taking a breakout trade above 80 when we have 15-minute center right at 85. Want to make sure I don't have any key levels in the way. Just got into a long here at hole number. We had an imbalance signal to the upside that appeared right at hole number. I got in on that buy imbalance, got my full 10 points right away. Bounced up to 915. Got another imbalance signal to the upside, getting another bounce. Percentages went bullish there. So these imbalance signals, this is from the MMT polarity. The imbalance histogram and the imbalance percentages, this is from the MMT fluxometer. The delta numbers above the candles, that's from the flow stack. All my charts have been running great this morning, even with the crazy volatility from the news. No issues getting in and out of trades. I'm trading off of my chart with less indicators on it. Sometimes when there's crazy volatility and you're trying to take trades on a chart with a ton of different indicators, you can get some lag trying to move stop losses and take profits around. Also depending on how fast your computer is, of course. Some more imbalance signals to the upside. Had a pretty big one here, a 13 and a 2. You can see positive delta from the NQ and the ES on both of these candles, as well as positive amounts of bullish imbalances here. We've just continued our move up there. This 5-minute candle closed with a pretty big bottom wick, point of control down on the wick. So I'm looking at this 70 level. If we can break above that, might come up and test 15-minute center at 85. So there's 10 points of room there for that trade. Looking at this big sell imbalance area. If we break below that, maybe try and dip a little bit lower. If this area holds, these sellers might be trapped. Look for a move higher. Just trying to share some of the thought process of the things that I'm looking for, using all these different indicators. Of course, this is not financial advice. Whatever I'm seeing is not the absolute end-all be-all, completely 100% right way to interpret anything. They're just things that I've noticed in my own personal trading. I'm sure you can come up with some even more amazing ways to interpret all this data. You can see we stayed below VWAP here. Cumulative delta background went bearish. The double Heikin-Ashi from the flow stack went bearish here. That means the NQ and the ES were both bearish on the Heikin-Ashi. Definitely popped down over 20 points since the close of this candle. So a bunch of negative delta coming in on the ES here. We just got the test of pre-market low. It was also the midnight level, so double key level right there. Got a little bounce up, about 15 points there off of this double key level. See if we're gonna break, test the pivot point next. And on the 5-minute, break below these large sell imbalances at 86, might trigger the move down to the pivot point. We got an imbalance signal to the downside here. Plenty of delta coming in. There we go, there's the test of the pivot point. I just tried to take a bounce off of the pivot point. We had some divergence and an imbalance signal to the upside appear. Had the imbalance percentage positive, had some positive delta coming in on both of them. I hit the market button and I got a terrible fill. Ended up hopping out for -2 points, I think. But from the pivot point, we just popped up about 20 points there. Didn't want to hold the trade. I don't like when I get bad fills, so I hopped out. I'm just looking at what's below. We got the 50 level. We got yesterday's value area low. And I got this big area of buying on the Greek profile in delta profile mode around 812, if we happen to make it down that far. Just grabbed a little bounce off of yesterday's value area low. We hit yesterday's value area low at 40. Grabbed another 5 points or so. We had a washout signal to the upside appear as well. Should have held on. I could have got my full 10 points pretty easy there. This volume profile, this is the daily market profile from NINZA. If you like any of the indicators over at NINZA, use code MonkeyMan. You get an even deeper discount even if they're having a crazy sale by using code MonkeyMan. I have been working on my own volume profile for quite some time. I might release it someday, but their stuff is top notch, so is their customer service. I used their indicators for over 7 years, so I'm still out here repping them. Also got yesterday's New York Open, this special volume level from the key levels, this previous day VWAP close, all around whole number, so that's going to be a crucial level if we come down that far. So check this out, as price is coming down here, look at delta. Delta's climbing, this price is coming down. We have some divergence on the Chaikin oscillator as well. Then we got a nice 25-point pop. Had some bullish delta coming in on the NQ and the ES here. Even after the close of this candle, we popped up 13 points after the close there. This histogram is from the ultimate delta indicator. You can see the double Heikin-Ashi feature from the flow stack turned bullish back here. Then once we started getting some imbalance signals to the upside on the polarity, then we had some stronger delta on the ES coming in here on the flow stack. Been getting a nice little run up here. Dang. Divergence, imbalance signal to the downside. Tons of strong negative delta on the ES, 1200, and strong negative delta on the NQ, -300. After the close of that candle, popped down over 20 points. Finally saw a trade that I wanted to take. We had this candle close very strong, very bullish, 93%. Got a little pullback right away, so as soon as I saw the pullback, got in long. It's just popped up 20 points from there. Also on the close of this 5-minute candle, we had very strong bullish delta on the ES and the NQ on the 1-minute. That really got me motivated too. There are links to all of the MMT indicators in the description. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below. Anyone that's out there using code MonkeyMan at any of the prop firms, greatly appreciated. Thanks so much for the support. I wish you best of luck in your trading. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.